Hey Hunnies, before this episode starts, just wanted to let you know that this is part 1 of the episode. Part 2 will be available next week on all streaming sites. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Hello, beautiful people, and we are back once again with episode 2 of season 3
Come on
of
now.
Honey, It's Yours.
And we're back again. I just realized we didn't really introduce ourselves.
I was just about to
Do we need to introduce ourselves?
We should.
We're gonna introduce ourselves.
Y'all should know us by now.
At this point, go
yeah,
back.
for the newcomers,
The new listeners.
thank you so much for listening on the streaming devices, streaming platforms, and YouTube and such,
Thanks.
and Instagram, wherever you're coming from. My name is Just Ashley,
I'm Brianne.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Danae.
and we're Honey, It's Yours.
Yes.
Good to know.
And today we actually have, I know last episode was more like a check back in, see where we at.
A real
Summer
FaceTime call.
Recap, just like whatever happened. But today we actually have something that we want to really like fake get into. And it's really the process of adulting, but from a different perspective, more so just trying to work.
And be an adult.
Be an adult, get into your careers. How does that look coming out of like college or like the break of college? Like just that whole process of now as young women who are planning on going into careers and not just jobs, not knocking the jobs, but understanding that there's a difference between the two. Mm-hmm. And how are we setting ourselves up for that, if at all? And what that journey is like, and just, really talk about it.
Yeah.
So let's recap where everyone is, right? I guess as a jumping point, I can go first. So currently, while you're listening to this, I'll be starting a new job, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. You would have just started.
Yeah, I would have just started. So I've been going through the process of, in the season of waiting, applying, interviewing, figuring out what I want to do, and all that other stuff. So I'm in the accounting industry, if everyone didn't know. Accounting, I'm a public accountant. I passed all my certification tests, period, in January.
No longer aspiring, she is.
Yeah, no longer no longer
I seen your
aspiring.
LinkedIn the other day.
Yeah. No longer aspiring. I'm just waiting for the license. Honestly, so like technically I am. I'm walking in the I am.
Amen.
So I'm a accountant, and I'm going into public accounting and auditing, and I've dealt with the whole corporate America, navigating that, and it's been interesting for me. It's been interesting to see now my friends going into that that realm, and not only you guys that are sitting here, but also like my cousins that are now stepping into the out of school, out of the board test, and starting the careers. Like I feel like everyone right now is trying to figure out where they fit in, where they want to go, and like starting and doing. As much as it is hard, or some people deciding to go back to school to have a career change as early as it is, like we're in the years of building and figuring out what career looks like for us. So yeah, but for me, my dream has always been being that corporate girly. So I enjoy it.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I think I enjoy it. Yeah,
That's beautiful.
I like it. I like the, like walking into the office, going to your desk, getting work done, having the social aspect after work. I think I like it because I like my job.
Your job,
Yeah.
I think so too.
When I was
different.
you just said like figuring out what career looks like, and I think that that's such an interesting thing to say, and also I think something that at least in other spaces where I'm in, like let's say like church, where there are a lot of different generations, knowing that we come from an immigrant background, I think that that's something that's a little bit harder to sometimes explain to some of the other older people around me, because we have the privilege of choosing
And defining and
to
shaping.
wait to develop our career in a very specific way, versus a lot of them who did not have that. It's more like I have to get the job, and the job is a job to feed my family, to get things done. It doesn't matter whether you like it or not, it's a job.
Yeah.
And that's not all, but with the exception of like, let's say the health sciences, or like
No,
Yeah.
including the health sciences.
Including the health sciences, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of, I feel like they don't understand the concept. Sometimes they don't understand the concept of career to the same extent and what that may look like now for us who may not just be working jobs until the career or figuring out what that is like. So I think sometimes, I think it's definitely a road that we're walking for ourselves without like any guidance really and truly to a certain extent. So it's interesting. Like, I know for me, I asked my mom the other day, I'm like, what did you want to be when you grew up? And she's like, I really never wanted to be anything like particular. Like, she was being honest. Like, my dad wanted to be a doctor. He is a physician's assistant. But she just never wanted to do anything. She's like, I just got a job. She was good at her job. She stayed there. She retired. Shondo. She did the whole thing. And technically, she ended up creating a career in this field without even like consciously knowing it. But the intention in the beginning, going into it, has always been different. So yeah, that's just like interesting. That's not even what I'm doing, but you said that, and that's where my brain went.
So what are you doing?
Yeah, I figured it was I'm in law school. I'm still a certified professional pastry chef. I still have my business. I'm still doing that. But it has law school. One, and Sarah could also tell you, law school is still a little. I don't know if it's different. I just don't know. But the way the process is of like your first summer you have a job, but while you have your job, your first summer you're already figuring out your second summer job. And if you work at a firm, really and truly your 2L summer, that firm is pretty much grooming and courting you to then come back to them as their first year associate afterwards. Unless you did a terrible job as a summer associate, more than likely.
Or you don't want to be there.
Or you don't want to be
At
there.
the firm, yeah.
No. Unless you did a terrible job, the firm will not be courting you to come back. But then at that point in time, you get to choose for yourself whether you want to come back or not. So it's almost like a done deal by the time you get into that. So I'm in law school. I already have my job for next summer, so I'm just So I'm more so looking into internships and externships in a separate area of law that is not something that a lot of people break in. It's a really niche area that you don't necessarily break into right away.
Do you want to say the area?
I mean, I'm looking into art law. I mean, it's not really nothing to gatekeep, because I think it's very niche, and it's either you like that stuff or you don't. And I think as I'm learning more about myself and having more conversations, I think in addition to art law, what it really is, and a lot of fields pair it together, is called exempt organizations, which is like a lot of not-for-profit charity, tax, law, finagling work, and maybe even a little bit of emerging companies and venture capitalism, which is like helping a lot of startups with legal stuff. So it's a lot. So that's what I'm trying to now focus and have the right conversations with the right people to figure that out, in addition to the corporate big law thing that I'm doing, which is really exhausting for me, because unlike Ashley, who loves corporate, I can exist in corporate, I can murder corporate. Corporate is like, it's just
tiring.
I'm sorry if you're not watching this, you have to like, it's so much ick to me. That's what it is. Like, there's some great people, cool people. Like, people are people, right? So you're gonna have ick people everywhere you go.
Right.
But sometimes it's just really annoying. And I think for me, because of like the way I approach life, I had to be very intentional, and I'm still being very intentional about approaching corporate in a way that I don't lose myself in the slightest bit. But then also understanding what is the difference between losing yourself or maturing into different spaces. What does that balance look like? How much are you willing to give? How much are you willing to take? Yeah. But so far, so good. You know, they like me. And those that don't like me, don't talk to me. That's perfectly fine too. You know? So that's where I'm at in a very long nutshell.
Yeah, I guess in the same breath, I'll just go along because we're doing the same thing. Well, she's far along the line than I am, but
no.
Yeah, you are.
We're doing the same thing.
Okay. Anyways, I also just finished my first year in law school, but I did not do any break between undergrad and law school. I went straight through, which is don't do it.
Don't discourage.
Do
it's
it.
possible. If you're doing it.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about that later.
Sarah.
Different strokes for different folks. Some
You don't
people
think you're
rape
doing
it,
So
some people murder it
It's
regardless.
a point that I'm gonna make later in our conversation in this, but like comparison really is a very rough thing that I've been going through. But like, it was never at the forefront of my mind. But when it's so blatant in front of you what other people are doing, and like excelling in and doing great in, always happy. This is not at you, but always happy for whoever's around me that is going up. Yeah. But like,
it stings.
For me, it's like, damn, what am I doing and what am I not doing? We'll get into that later because a recent event that I like passed up on, I probably shouldn't have passed up on, but it's okay. But yeah, right now I work in-house, which means you represent a company.
She's Office of General Counsel,
Facts.
baby.
And I'm looking for jobs for next summer. I do have a couple interviews lined up for next month to land that job. And I'm trying to do big law, but I'm trying to do international law. So just mixing.
Oh, I have a firm for you. Outside of them, but yes.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Sorry, I just remind me after
So same with Danae, just entering the corporate world, and I've had the same struggle this summer working in that space and just not wanting to contribute to any conversations because I can't relate to you. Not wanting to, but I also don't want to be that intern that's like, oh, you're just gonna sit there and be quiet and awkward the whole day. But I also I'm not sitting here and kissing ass all day either. Like, I'm not doing all that. And I'm approaching my last week of work right now, and I'm just ready to go. I don't want to be
so
there.
ready for my job to be done too.
I'm done.
For you, girl.
I'm tired. But yeah, and then just chill until I go back to law school, where I will be a student attorney for alternative dispute resolution. Big words, but it's fine.
Are you? Did you do alternate dispute resolution like?
It's a clinic for
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay,
we get in. She's talking on the pod. No, it's okay.
Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
No, big up yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
She's like, I'm not in the same place as you. I'm like, I'm not a
outside living life. Like,
You're actually doing things. Like,
I am. But like I said, like last episode, like my goals are getting accomplished. I just want to feel
fulfilled,
like I'm doing enough. And I think the issue with law school is that everybody's always pushing, even outside of law school. But for me personally, issue is always everybody's trying to strive for the next big thing to add on to their resume, add on to their LinkedIn, and like. The thing with big thing with law school is that every single accomplishment, every single step that you take, you post on LinkedIn. Everybody knows what you're doing. Everybody knows what kind of success you're having, whatever, this, that, and the third. So it's like you have no choice but to see what other people are doing around you. And it's like, okay, love that for you. I don't want that for myself, but should I want that for myself? Am I supposed to want that for myself as a law student? Do I need that to succeed? And it's like, okay.
But I wish I had this. This is where I was when I was a junior at Baruch as an accounting major, where all the other accounting majors are, I guess, fiending and like you were saying, ass kissing for these big, like the big four jobs, and I'm just like, okay,
right.
And then I get it, and I don't want to be ungrateful in that sense, but it's kind of like I see life bigger than this, right? So then I'm contemplating, do I want this? Am I like this? And I feel like, no. If it's not for you, it's not for you. And where you end up, certain things happen for a reason. I've been trying to live in that space and try to understand that. But legit, things happen for a reason. And if you want it, pray on it, and that's it.
Yeah. Where you go ahead.
Facts. I'm still teaching. Not as upset about it now. I think it's more. That's kind of what I've been dealing with over the past few months, is debating whether I'm just more comfortable now because I understand the learning curve and it's easier to understand and I'm not like stressed about it every day, or am I like enjoying it because I like the job and the kids. So I'm still teaching. I've damn near stopped applying for jobs, even though I still want a new job, because I just feel as though the Lord is just going to place it in my lap without having to do anything.
Oh.
That was sarcasm. That was sarcasm. I know I need to apply myself. But in a perfect world, he would just be like, here it is. You can quit now.
Supposed to be like, faith without work is dead, baby.
I know.
However,
I know.
be still and wait.
That too.
Look at this quote in the Bible. Wow.
I don't know. There was this whole
The
conversation.
Bible is contradictory, man.
Bro, depends.
Sometimes you be having fights with God. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's true.
Sorry,
God,
that
they
is.
got it. Please go ahead.
It could just be that simple, right?
I wish it was. Bro. That's a laziness talk.
Sorry, that just really hit home. Do your thing. I need to stop interrupting y'all.
No, it's okay. You guys are bringing good words to the conversation. That's why I listen.
But I think the good thing about your process, Ree, is that you're just taking your time with it. Like, what is the rush for real?
The rush is that. Never mind. I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about that yet.
Okay.
But there have been a lot of conversations about what my future is going to look like, and in order to provide for my future, I need to have something sustainable. And the job that I have now is not exactly the sustenance that I need. I'm approaching 26, and
You're not even 25 yet.
26.
the benefits of
You're
my
not even
job
25 yet.
Are
are
you
not
talking about
building
health insurance?
towards
You
a
talking about
retirement plan.
health insurance?
Health insurance is
Okay.
a mid, dental is
I get
mid,
you why you say
damn near
26.
non-existent. So it's like, in the back of my head, there's that timer, and then it's like, I'm getting to that age now where, and it's a real, not even a possibility. It is real life where I'm going to be working towards providing for my family, and it's like, I need to be in a position where that is a doable thing, and I don't know if the job that I have now is going to do that. I know for a fact it's not going to do that. Like, I always knew that my teaching job was never going to be forever. I just thought it was going to end a lot sooner, to the point where I was ready to quit at the end of the summer, with or without a job. And since I came to that conclusion, like, just a lot of things was happening, like relationships were developing, and like I was just feeling better about the job. Like,
Right.
I think really I hated it in the beginning because I wasn't good at it, and I'm something of a perfectionist. So when I'm not good at something, I quit because I'm not good. So why would I stay here? So
No, that's real.
realizing that I don't need to just quit, and now I can do the job and get the job done. And it's not paying me pennies, it's paying me money. And it also allows for me to travel and do the things that I'm passionate about on the side and still paying me. So it's like, there's a lot of pros here, but like, is the mental toll that it takes on me for the other 10 months of the year worth it for the 2 months of break that I'm getting now?
Question: are you open to saying what you want to be doing instead?
In a perfect world, I would be travel blogging and going around the world and recording it and being like, this is why you should stay at this hotel.
Or more
Subscribe.
so, what were you applying to if you wanted to say,
I
what
was
did
applying
you
to
want
tech.
do
Oh,
with
so
it?
that's, yeah.
Yeah.
I was applying to a lot of tech roles, data analytics, marketing analytics, anything analytics. And now it's funny because I'm teaching the kids about artificial intelligence, and that's literally the reason why I can't get a job now. So it's like, I am providing the world with the thing that is taking the job that I actually want to get. So I actually went to a networking event, my first networking event since college, and it was weird because people were weird. I forgot how weird tech people are. But aside from that, it was just like everyone had the same narrative. I'm not that weird, bro. They're a different level of weird than I am. But everyone was having the same problem of applying to jobs, either not hearing back, getting ghosted altogether, or like hearing back for like one interview. You have the one interview and then it's ghost. Like, everyone is having the same response. So it's like, one, it was reassuring because like, okay, I'm not failing because I'm dumb. I'm not failing because I don't have what it takes. But on the other hand, it's like, people are still out here getting hired. So what am I missing? The whole comparison thing was coming into place of like, what am I missing that I don't have? So then I was like, let's see, where can I apply my skills elsewhere? And then I was like, well, what kind of job do I want? And then I went back to freshman year and I was like, I never even wanted a job. Like, when you said that thing about your mom, I felt that. Like, I don't even want to work, but like, I just want to do something that I'm good at that can pay my bills. Like, as long as my skills can get the job done and I can get paid for it, then I'm good. I don't care if it's an easy job. I don't care if it's, I got to work weird hours. Like, as long as I can do the job, get it done, and get paid for it, I'm straight. I don't care what I'm really doing for real. Like, there was never really a thing that I was like, this is what I want to do, except for teaching. So now I'm here as a teacher, and so it's like, this is what was going on in my head. It's just a whole lot of stuff is just colliding. So it's like, do I stick with what I thought I wanted to do? Do I drop everything and reach out for this passion where it's like, I can do it. I can absolutely do it. But it is going to be a huge risk, and there is no guaranteed reward, which I don't like taking no type of risk. I don't invest none of my money. It just sits in the investment account. And then there is apply your skills somewhere else and try something else. And so I'm like, okay, let's do that. But then it's like, what if I go through the same experience I had when I felt called by God to do something new that I've been dreaming about and praying about for a long time, and I went there and was damn near depressed. Like, I don't want to put myself through that again either. So we are at a 3-way crossroads, and we've been at this 3-way crossroads for damn near a year now, and I don't know what to do. So I have been praying, I have been fasting, I have been seeking God, and silence.
Bro. I think in addition to those things, though, like,
that was a lot. I'm sorry.
But that was real though.
No, it's definitely real. I think I'm gonna more so address the last one, just because honestly, full transparency, before we recorded these episodes today, I spent 4 hours at church this morning. So it's just gonna come because it's just in my brain at the moment. I think you said you don't want to obviously you don't want to go through that same cycle where you felt called by God to do something and it happened and you didn't like it and it was a process and like nobody wants to deal with that as a human person, right? And I get that, totally get that, but it's also like you can't be praying and fasting and asking God to do something for you and then when he gives it to you, you're like no, like that's not like, you have to be open to that process, but then also too understand, like, when we get through one phase, it's not going to get easier. It's going to get different. Or it's going to look different. It's honestly going to get harder. You have just now built up your stamina enough to get past phase 1 that you can now attack phase 2. So yes, you prayed to God, you had the calling, you got the job as a teacher, you hated the job as a teacher because you no longer felt adequate in that position. You grew, you were challenged, now you're cool with it. It's still like, I don't know if this is for me, but you're good. So yeah, the next thing is going to be harder. It's going to be a little bit more stressful. It's going to be something else. I just wanted you to
never meant to get easier.
Yeah, I just wanted you to keep that in mind as you're going through the different parts and phases. And then another thing I wanted to say too, and I don't know, I could have missed in all the stuff that I just did, but like, find or continue trying to just find different ways to get to the result if there's something that you wanted to do. And I'll say it for me, like with the whole, I was like, there were very specific things I wanted about my firm. I was not taking the firm that I was taking because I did not trust that they could do what I wanted them to do. And literally I took the offer the day before the offer expired because I was so against going there until they proved that part to me. But also in that time period, I had the conversation. I was like, okay, these are the different ways I can get art law, or these are the different things that I can do. What can this place get me now to help me get there? But also, what other things can I do to kind of, like, the goal is art law. Your goal is, one of your goals may be tech. It's a lot harder now because of AI to a certain extent, but there are a lot of people that may be hiring people to literally just study the AI to get there. So maybe it's not tech at the moment, maybe it's that, but then you can find another avenue to get you in the door, to just get you in the room to get things done. I think for me, that was something that I kind of learned this summer in that process. Like, this is the end goal. How can we utilize the little that we have now, and where can we find other ways to like still help us grow to get to that end goal, and understanding that the end goal we think we have is not necessarily one where we may end up, period, but it also may not happen. We have no control over the time it's going to take us to get there regardless. So how do we just use what we can now to finesse the pieces to work in our favor as much as we can actually control?
Right. The part of what's called the timing, that I feel like a lot we all struggle with, and it's hard when you're able to see what other people are doing, right? Like when you guys both you and Sarah touched on the comparison things. Like, I took a long hiatus after my last job, right? And it's like, now that LinkedIn thing is there, you get to see everything people are doing and sharing and boasting about, and then you're comparing it to your own timeline, and it's like, we don't have the same timeline. Like, some people are doing things like starting in their 30s. Some people are did it and started in 2023. Some people done started, stopped, switched, turned around, decided they didn't want to do this anymore. Went
People
on
haven't
to
even
this.
started yet either.
Yeah,
so.
some people haven't even started, and it's kind of like figuring out what's your timeline and what's good for you. That's something that I don't know. That's those are one of the talks of God that you just have a little tussle. Yeah,
I
you
think
have a little tussle with, because it's kind of like, damn, that could be me, and it's like, damn,
what are they doing that I'm not?
or it's like, okay, so I applied to 10. I did 10 applications a day, 5 applications a day, and I only got one back. And then the one I got back, they dragging their feet on it, and it's kind of like, damn, what is for me? I don't know. I don't think there's ever going to be a clear answer, or like you said, you heard silence. It's kind of like, I struggle with that whole thing of like hearing silence and don't know what to do but just wait, and then learning what to do while you're waiting. Yeah. I think that's important, to know what you want to do while you're waiting, or figuring out how to wait well, so that when it comes,
I think
ready.
it's different as between like each person as to what they do in that time period and what they do with that listening period. But I think also God kind of gives us this like creative space-ish, where in that time where you're waiting for him, work towards trying to figure out what you actually like, what you actually enjoy. How can you serve him in a certain space? How can you be a Christian person or a Christian woman in that space? How can I like continue succeeding and continue serving God in this space? But that's been my hardest part, like currently, because I'm fighting financial success and humility and staying like level-headed and down to earth. And I don't know if I know it's possible. And that's my goal.
Like, do you feel like because you're elevating successfully in the financial spectrum that you're losing humility? Or
I feel like I'm gonna mess it up somehow because of like potential success. For some reason, I don't know why, I just don't trust myself to be in that space.
Are you afraid of success?
Correct.
So when I was saying this,
because I don't, I'm trying to figure out how to say this.
You don't want to be too good?
I don't.
Because now we're going.
Because I know I'm not.
We're here for you. Remember all of that?
The self-reflection
now we're hitting Sarah.
Somebody doesn't want to emotionally mature.
Now we're hitting Sarah.
I don't like this for myself.
That fear of success is something real that I've been talking about since the beginning of ages. But listen, it is real, bro.
I'm not a cocky person, but I don't ever want to risk getting anywhere near it,
bro. But sometimes
I don't want to be that person.
But listen, what have you learned in your whole interviewing process and your application process of like learning how to talk about yourself? Learning how, I feel like we come from a space where we're taught, just be quiet, do your job, put your head down. No, our counterparts are speaking up about what they're doing. They're posting every single week, even though they don't do nothing. They're talking about it.
My career services advisor was literally just saying the same
thing.
Legit.
And we're fighting the struggle of let's be humble, let's be humble, let's be humble. No, sometimes we can be humble, right? But you don't have to put yourself down. Like, you can talk about what you have done.
Yeah, I was gonna, what came to my brain, and it doesn't mean exactly what I'm saying, but y'all are gonna get the point. But like, I have realized that humility is our generational curse. It's like one of those ancestral things that we have now taken, and it's actually used against us. Like, why did financial success automatically equate to you losing humility? Right? Like, why is that the concept that we're taught? Really and truly, if we want to go into it, that's so that we did not become successful, or it wasn't that we did not become successful. Then it was like, okay, we're now becoming successful. We need to shut up and be quiet so they don't kill us or take the success away from us or burn our literal communities. Exactly. And now we're here and we have the spaces to attain it, and it's yours.
Make up yourself.
It's yours. Own it. Like,
I think another part of it is that even my parents, like, they're not the most wealthy financially people. So it's like, it doesn't feel wrong that I'm God please bless me, that I'm going to be making more money than them, but it feels wrong. I don't know why, but
the
it's
thing
like,
is,
we should every generation should be
but it's
doing-
also like
get-
her family's a life of service kind of
The
family.
entire-
She's pretty much she's a missionary child.
I'm a
that's
missionary
very
child,
different
so it's like
mindset. I get
you
that.
put it perfectly. So it's like, to me, even my sister has the same struggle, but she's been in the career for a much longer time. But she's in-house, she's comfortable, like whatever she's doing with her life. But like, I just have so many more like financial driven goals that I want to accomplish, but sometimes it just feels wrong to want that.
I would say so, and I don't. In my limited experience, I'm definitely not a missionary child, but I do consider myself a preacher's kid. Like, I'm not actually a preacher's kid, but I'm a preacher's kid. In the way I was raised, in like my structure, I'm a preacher's kid. And I think one thing that I've been learning and figuring out now is like, your mission field, you do have a mission field, as all of us do as Christians, but your mission field may look different. So you can still have your financial success and you can still be in that place.
Yeah.
And your mission field may be there. Like, it may be you being you in that space, so that they could see something different about you in that way. And I know it's all like words and it's all fluff. And like, to me, it also feels like words and fluff too, especially when you have other people. Like, my mom is one of the most humble, giving people. Like, it's disgusting how much no it is, because it's like, you hear things like forever, like things that you don't know, you find out years later. It's just like, how sway, like how. And sometimes what you're doing just feels like nowhere near what they're doing. Then we do the whole thing about, well, we have it better than that. Like, it's just so many layers that you start to pack on top of each other. And I think it's like, your mission field may be exactly where you are.
Yeah.
I know it's okay to be successful. It's okay to figure it out. And I'm saying this also to myself. Like, my top professor at school, he's like, my goal is, he wants me to work on my self-deprecation and my humility, because I do it. So like, oh, it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nothing. It's whatever. Like, I'm chill. I'm just here. I'm just existing. But it's a real thing that we have to figure out. And I think for me, I've been stepping into that a little bit more in these interviews. Like, really, like what Ashley was saying, these people do not do anything. Like, respectfully, like, even like I haven't done that much for what I have for myself. Sorry, I'm mashing up the mic. Ashley gonna mash me up. Okay, sorry. Cause she gonna be like, she can't get my audio. But like, there's so much that I've done that they have not even thought to try to do for themselves. And yes, and then that's why when you call me a baker, I'm gonna say I'm a chef, and we're gonna have the conversations now, because at the end of the day, like, no, I did the damn thing, and I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, I had the same. I had two responses, but I had the same experience of like you feel wrong because you're gonna be making more than your parents. Whereas like, my dad flat out told me after I got the offer, right, and I was explaining to them like the salary or whatever, like what it could be, right. He's like, yeah, look at you, only like less than a year's experience, and you're about to be making more, almost more than me. I'm like, damn, I didn't even think about it like that, but damn, yeah.
Go to the firm.
Because this is the reason why you put me on this step. Like, I should be, once I get to 2 years, 3 years experience, I'm going to be making more than my parents, but it's because of their work, honestly.
Right.
And then another point I was going to make is like, it that humility and that sense of kind of like that self-deprecation is like, it plays into how we operate in these spaces when we should be speaking up about ourselves. We should be negotiating for more. We shouldn't be just taking what they give us, because I feel like I'm speaking to myself the same way. Like, we're speaking and then we're trying to making sure it's real to us. Like, nah, like, I know that I don't have the most experience, but there's a reason why you want me. And because you want me, and then you got to play that whole economics game, you're not going to offer the highest that you want to give me.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it is a business. As much as I love corporate broke my heart in August, bro. But the thing is that I feel like there's, like you're saying, there's a mission field. I feel like I belong there. Right. There is a space for me. There's a space for people that look like me. Like, earlier this summer, Damn. Hold on.
Just a moment, please. The Hunnies will be with you shortly.
I belong there because there was an intern that texted me. She was like, "Yo, I'm here the next summer. Where are you?" I'm like, I don't work there no more. And she's like, "Really? What happened?" I'm just like, "Yeah, I don't work there no more, whatever." And then I text her. I'm like, "Yo, that's the reason why I need to be there, because of interns like her."
Yep.
And like, she looks like me. There's a reason why.
She was looking for you.
Right. There's a reason why she shadowed me. There's a reason why she was in my group. There's a reason why I reached out to interns that look like me. So, yeah.
Yeah. Aww. I think like my biggest prayer in these
God damn.
like in that same breath, like my biggest no, she's not. My biggest prayer is to like just know what to do with the space that I'm entering. So like that is probably your purpose in this space, is to be like a mentor or somebody that people can reach out to for access. Like how do I get into this space? And I think for me, I don't want I hold myself to a much higher, like a high standard of, I don't want to mess this up and I want to do things right. But in the space that we're in, there's no wrong decision. So like in law school, they tell you, try everything, be open to anything. Don't worry about making a wrong decision because you are just trying things. There's no wrong decision, just as long as you're trying to do something. I have so much overthinking and anxiety of the step before I decide to do something. For example, this, I don't know if I can talk about this.
Talk about it. If you can't, we will bleep it out.
Okay.
We're talking.
This law review thing. I got an email. I was told that I can try out for law review. Cool. As the week passed, I just didn't feel like this is what I wanted to do. / am extremely lazy / I'm extremely tired. Don't want to do it. So my stubbornness and my summer of enjoyment was winning over wanting to do that. Now comes 2 weeks later when the thing is out now of who made it and who didn't. I'm like, probably should have done it. Maybe should have done it. So like in my head, it was like, did I just fumble something that I should have done? That I like, it's the regret coming back. So that's why I want to do good with the opportunities that are handed to me. But I also don't want to sit there and get drained and tired and not enjoy what I'm doing.
But you have to think back to the time when you made that decision, right? If you made that decision, you fully thought about it, and you crossed it and said, "Nah, I don't want to do this." Of course, it's gonna sting when you see other people doing the thing that you didn't want to do, right? But then you have to go back to it and be like, "Nah, I didn't want to do it for these reasons."
Right.
And it's kind of like the same thing when you say no to things. Like you said no.
I have a problem doing that.
And then remember the reasons why you said no.
Go ahead.
I just didn't know. I don't like. I'm fighting between. I don't always have to have a reason as to why I don't want to do something, and I like my reason was I didn't want to do it. Like I don't know. I didn't want to. It was a rash decision. It was just like, I'm tired. I'm bored. I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do this work right now. And if I don't enjoy this right now, I'm not gonna enjoy it later when I'm actually in it. So why would I do it?
So this is another thing that I think our whole generation is battling between, right? You know, when Kim Kardashian was like, people just don't want to work anymore. Like, are we lazy and don't want to work, or are we choosing what we want to work hard at? Like, go ahead.
I saw a post on social media, a TikTok, and it was a black woman. I don't know her name, but she was saying that back in the day when women were fighting for the right to vote, it was the white women that wanted to work. The black women didn't want to work. The black women wanted the white woman lifestyle of staying in the house and taking care of the children instead of staying in the field. We were already working. We didn't want to work. And I wholeheartedly agreed with that. Wholeheartedly. And I know it sounds bad, and I know it sounds lazy, but
No,
I think
but
part of me
it's
feels
because of the culture and what we grew up.
I feel like we have been working, and you know what? I'm not my mom, right? I'm not my grandma. I haven't been working forever, but I've been working since I could work. My first job, I was about 11 years old working at summer camp. Ever since I could work, my father had me working, and I would just like to be a part. I am not even a slightest bit opposed to the housewife lifestyle. In the slightest. Is it glamorized on TV? Absolutely. And I'm not sitting here saying I don't have ambition and I don't have things that I want to do. I do have things that I want to do, things that do also bring in a check. But I think in a perfect world, I'm not even a slightest bit opposed to
not being a wife. Yeah. Can I respond to like both of those things like
absolutely?
At the same time? So one, I don't think there's anything wrong with not wanting to work. First of all, I don't think you need a reason to not want to work if your partner is okay with you not working. That is a decision between you and the person that you're choosing to spend the rest of your life with. Like, should you be irrational? I personally don't think so. I don't know how that's gonna I don't know how that's gonna help you. But like, my thing is this: things are good for different people. Different strokes for different folks. If you don't want to work, this is the life you want. You will raise your house a certain way with traditional values to a certain extent. You have your reasons, whether we agree with them or not. Your husband is good with that. He got it. You got it. Y'all know if it hits the fan, you will get a job if you need to get a job. But that's your house. You do what you want.
Bro,
and then
wait, I'm sorry. That's your house, and y'all do what y'all want. Period.
Yeah.
I just need to repeat that for the people in the back because everybody want to talk about other people's house. Focus on your house.
Right.
And what y'all want to do.
That's your thing. I think in terms of do we not want to work or do we just want to work to what we want to do, there's so much that plays into that. And I think sometimes it's hard to even have these conversations solely as Black women because what Rianne said is very real. Like, and I feel like, yeah, we're new, we're young, we're now starting to adult and to work. But no, we have literally been working since the womb. Like, it's one of those things that are also engraved in us. It's one of the, and I truly believe it's one of those like generational pains and hurts and tolls. From the time before we could even talk, we were already being prayed over for all the turmoil that we would have to go through because of the way that we came out
The womb.
Like, no, you have been working your whole life. You have. And there is enough to that. But also on the flip side, like I also don't think there's anything wrong with picking what you want to work for if you have that privilege to do so at this point in time, because that's a part of the changing the classes of your family and like creating bigger and better. But you have to understand, like, okay, am I being lazy? And like, what do I have to do at what points in time to get what things done? I don't know.
Just to be a not a devil's advocate, but to provide, because devil don't need no advocate, but to provide a different perspective. I love saying that. Right? Because he don't need one, but that's the term, right? I think, because if we go back to like the Kanye West, like that documentary about like that grind and that ambition and like working hard